was actually in the basketball tournament. And welcome back, Councillor Chase. This evening, we'll adopt the agenda, so motion to that effect. Is
Second.
All those in favor? Motion's carried. One delegation this evening, we have Mary Harris, BIA coordinator, Black and Mary Ruth, and you have the floor.
Is it ready?
Yep, you come up.
You can unplug it. I guess it's got, doesn't it have battery?
You need connection to the internet to show us your website.
Oh, you don't have water? You're wired.
No, but you can go a long way. Maybe better.
All right, so this is the new website. It'll be live in about 48 hours. And one of the newest things, which is going to be kind of cool, you won't be able to see it actually. Right here, members and associates, right here. This is for, this is a locked down section for anyone who actually is a member of the BIA and anyone who is an associate member. So they will actually be able to click on this and go to their own login, and there'll be special news and downloads for them, as well as they can manage their own listing after about another couple of weeks. So they can actually go in, update their information, update their photographs. Now this is showing right now because this is not the launch site. But once the live site goes, these two things will not be here. And you can click on that, but it will take you to a web page. But if you're not a member or associate, there's no point in doing it. So all of the other information for the general public, such as Halloween, we'll go to that. And so we've got our poster for Halloween up there, so that people can see it with a bit of information. And so all of these other events are all there. We've got an About the BIA page, which takes you to, talks about the Comox Business in Action, Comox by the Sea, and as you scroll down, it talks about sort of what we're doing, and then it gives you a list of the board of directors with a direct email link to each of them. So when you click on their name, it opens up your own email browser so that you can send an email right from there. So you're not going through multiple steps to do it. And up at the top, so under Explore, there is a map, Eat, Shop, Stay, and under, so say Eat, you'll go to the Eat page, and then it will have all of the restaurants and cafes listed here. Some of them are here now, but we will be expanding on photos that are available for them, as well as the information, their write-ups. Some of them now have Facebook page and Twitter, so we'll be updating all that information. And it is like that for all of the different categories. So under Explore, Shop, same thing. It would bring up the retail stores and photos and information about each store. And some of them will even have a Google map. The idea is eventually each one will have a Google map attached to it. So it makes it really easy for anybody coming in. And the best part about the website is that it is tablet and phone friendly. So when you squish it to go to tab, it drops down into a column so that you can be reading it on your phone, so that anybody coming in on the boat, they can type in wherever they want to go, and it'll bring up the Comox this website, and they can get all the information right there on their tablet while they're still on their boat, which is great. So that's, there's lots of information there. Services, financial, health, real estate, and other services, and under each one of those, it'll break it down for people, for both Comox residents as well as people visiting. Getting here by air, by sea, by road, and it lists, so if you go into the by sea, it gives you the map of the marina, and then there'll be information about each of the, like the Comox Municipal Arena, then the Comox Valley Harbor Authority, and that should actually be Comox Valley Marina, because they've changed the name. So that's just some of the editing stuff that I'm still working on. But that way they have information about all 3 marinas that actually exist out there, because it is a little confusing when you come in. And when you walk down on the dock, there is no signage that says which is which, and there's no signage that says that building at the end of the dock actually is the Federal Marina Port Authority. Just observation. So any questions about the website?
Members of council, any questions?
Great.
Well, looks good. I know you guys have put a lot of work into that,
Yeah.
so it's a welcome update.
Just curious how much it cost?
Under 4,000. And it was done by a company in Cumberland called the Update Company, and they are fantastic to work with. They have been there for about 5 years, and they have clients literally all over the world. And they're just a small little company, but they are really big on social media. I'm actually doing some social media training with them so that I can manage all the various pages and Twitter accounts all on a Monday morning and program what I want to do for the week. And then it takes care of itself so that I can have better time management to deal with events. Speaking of events, so any more questions about the website? Okay. So with events, of course, we've got the big Halloween coming up, October 30th and 31st. It's going to be a lot of fun. The one after that is going to be Christmas. There is a letter coming. I thought I'd already sent to Shelley, but I didn't. I only talked to Al Fraser about it. It's going to be, the tree lighting is going to be on Friday the 28th. And that evening there's going to be events. We have Mrs. Claus and Mr. Santa Claus coming for that event, along with hopefully some elves. And the next day they're also going to be on hand at Comox Mall for pictures from 11 till 3 on both Saturday and Sunday. And we'll also have events happening for the families at the same time, such as Arts by Forecast Art Studio here in Comox, and the Boys and Girls Club doing crafts with them, and possibly some Christmas games and just fun things for the families to do. Now,
We do have that letter.
oh, you do have?
Yeah, it's on our agenda.
Oh, okay, great. So, how many of you are familiar with the Boys and Girls Christmas Village, the gingerbread houses and the teddy bear packages?
Yes.
And last year it was at Crown Island. Well, they've decided that they are not able to move forward with events right now. So the Comox BIA is taking it from them with their blessing. So the Christmas Village is going to be put in the Comox Mall. Last year, we had 82 participants, about 30 gingerbread houses, and then 50-some teddy bear packages. Everybody from WestJet to the guy next door to all the schools, and it was a blast. Paul, you came through it, I think. And we raised $14,000. Now, it was up for 3 weeks, and through that time, we had 12 different schools come through for tours. Well now, with it being at the Comox Mall, we don't have the scheduling issue that we had at Crown Island. So we will be able to accommodate many more actual entries, as well as many more schools coming through, because we don't have scheduling issues. Because we're not working around events of another organization. So the Comox Mall has offered up support for us in terms of helping with the decoration of the mall in general, because they have many, many decorations, so they're coming on board with some staffing to support myself with that event, and James Holland, who's the new promotions manager at the mall. So basically the Comox Mall is going to be turned into Christmas Central, starting on November 27th. And it will go through until December 18th, at which time the silent auction will come to a close, usually with a gala of some sort. So it's a huge coup for us to have this event here in Comox, and we are very excited to have it. So. And then in February, we are a big part of Heritage Week. And Heritage Week runs from the 16th to the 22nd of February, but we're actually going to extend it to include the first weekend, because the Island Agricultural Show starts on the 13th of February and runs the 13th and 14th in Courtney. And we have brought together, when I say we, I mean myself and Barbara and James Holland from the mall. We've brought together all the stakeholders. So we have 5 museums involved, we have 3 BIAs, we have Air Force, and the Filbert Lodge in the park. So everybody has come together, and all the heritage associations that operate outside on their own. So the Cumberland Heritage Association, the Courtney one, and then of course the Pearl Ellis Gallery and the Comox Museum and Archives. And everybody has come together to put together a calendar of events starting on the 14th and running through till the 22nd. And as that gets developed, we had a steering committee meeting last night, and we have some really great things, because one of the things that happens is on the 15th is the 50th anniversary of the Canadian flag. And so already we've got, I'll just tease this a little bit, we have a running group in the Comox Valley that is going to do a flag run through the entire Comox Valley on that day, gathering runners as they go. So there'll be a start probably in Cumberland and an ending probably here in Comox. And it will be really a lot of fun. So there'll be a lot more to come with that. And there'll be square dancing, and we're looking at a big band dance, and we're looking at Military Village in the Comox Mall, as well as a Heritage Village. So I'd like to invite Barbara to talk ever so briefly about what's going to be included in the Heritage Village, because that specifically will be in the mall.
So just really briefly, crafts, lace making, weaving, spinning. We've got a quilting. We've got a lot of talented people in the valley. So hands-on, so that candle making, so kids can come and see how things were done in the times gone by, and hopefully people will be in costume. And lot of fun events.
Great.
And by having the Heritage Village as well as the military, it also provides a location for schools to actually come for a tour. So as soon as we get everything secured, we will be contacting the elementary schools and high schools to let them know that that resource is available for them through that 10-day period, including Family Day on the 23rd of February. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anything further? Seeing none, we'll let you wrap up there and move on to minutes and meetings. So we have for approval the council meeting minutes of October 1st. Approval, all in favor? We have the minutes of the committee, the whole meeting, October 8th for receipt.
Second.
Receipt, all in favor? Motion's carried. Series of recommendations, first around the authorization to purchase recreation equipment as printed in the agenda.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Motion's carried. The authorization to increase Wallace Road budget to $95,000 is printed on the agenda.
Second.
Those in favor? Motion's carried. Natural gas operating agreements, the operating fees, endorsement of the agreement.
Second.
Those in favor? Motion's carried. Comox Valley Cycling Task Force Integrated Transportation Committee extension of term, the recommendation going forward to support that. Name change and the extension of term.
And second.
Those in favor? Motion's carried. And the information on World Heraldry Society of Canada coat of arms to refer to the strategic planning session 2015.
Second.
Those in favor? Motion's carried. We have the management report for receipt. Second. All in favor? Motion's carried. If there's anything else to follow up on that, we'll be dealing with the ST application shortly. Move on. Page 19, indeed, the Marina Park revitalization plan and phase 2 grant application. So staff are looking for 2 recommendations to be approved by council. One is that council approve in principle the Marina Park revitalization plan as prepared by Colmar Architecture and the Electric Corporation.
I'll move that.
We'll second it.
Any discussion on that, Councilor Fletcher?
Thank you. I wish our consultant was here, which I was glad to see. I just have some confusion personally on this, where I see, in particular, one of the items is the playground. And in diagrams, particularly page 22 and 23, we see that the playground structure is relocated. But further in the application, page,
You just have
it indicates that, the playground is not, sorry, that's page 32, that the playground is not in the scope of the application.
That's true.
So, yeah, so I'm a bit confused when I see it on diagrams, and I'm sure the community. So you can see on page 32, the second paragraph, specific details that are not in the scope of the application. Include 2 additional site access walkways. I'm not sure which access walkways are not. And then, again, confused that the relocation of the playground is not in the application, but it shows on those diagrams. So I just wanted.
And I'll ask Rocio to speak to that.
So the way that we've structured the 2 recommendations, one is the first one being the overall plan in principle. The ICE T application that we're looking for support from council on would address what we're calling the first phase of the works, which would be the buildings that are proposed, the washroom building and the two other buildings, the walkway work along the waterfront side that we're going to do. That doesn't preclude the fact that we're still considering the potential of moving the playground and the potential of a water feature. Those just don't make up the application that we're forwarding to ICE-T at this time.
They're not eligible for funding, at least.
Okay, so would it be fair to say that on page 43, that is a piece of the application?
So page 43 shows an overall concept. What we're making up for the first phase of this would be the box surrounding the buildings.
So the red line around,
Correct.
okay, so the relocated playground is not included in that.
Correct.
I'm not sure if the existing gazebo was. Okay. Okay.
Okay, any further?
Yeah, I just, and I think it's great that it's moving ahead and we can see whether we can get funding or not. I just wonder how written in stone is it? I know that we've had some public consultation and people have come forward with, some ideas of perhaps seeing it differently, what's on the waterfront in terms of buildings. So by moving ahead, we still have flexibility, do we, in the design? This is just to ensure that we actually have the ability to do it financially.
Yeah, we're looking for both an approval in principle and also for the funding application to submit detailed design, construction, and have to proceed once we have confirmation from Western Economic Diversification. So that's still the ask that we have to make in the new year. Certainly, yes, there are things that could change for sure.
Good, thank you.
Any further? Seeing none, all those in favor of the approval in principle? Motion's carried.
I'll move the second recommendation.
Second.
And that's for approval of the stage 2 application for submission of that trust for $40,000. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you, staff, and to the consultants for bringing that forward in a timely fashion. The next Highland Coastal Economic Trust Board meeting for this project is November 20th. Just so you're aware. For the Highland Coastal Trust Board, such as it is at the time. Special reports at page 67. We have for receipt 2 sets of minutes from the regional district report for September 30th.
Move receipt.
All in favor? The bylaws and only business, for receipt, the letter that we referenced earlier, with Mary Harris, the Monarch's Christmas.
Move receipt.
And is there anything we have to do especially with this year? Make sure Shannon's on it. It's clearance to land on all that.
And Mrs. House.
Correct. Motion's carried. No late items or reports from members of council. We'll start with Councillor Price.
Yes, I attended the Comox Valley Economic Development Society's Youth and Green after their workshop. So it was also a presentation on the tech industry, which actually was quite fascinating. That I think in the last census it showed that tech industry was a greater generator than forestry, mining, and fishing together. So just that there is a lot of opportunity there. It's difficult to form that basis by which people come, but yes, some good stuff. I met with residents in the Baybrook Drive area about the proposal down in the park there, at the Baybrook Park. And I also attended the Courtney Volunteer Appreciation Dinner as acting there, and I was also at the meeting about Heritage Week last night.
Councillor Flip.
My report's really short because I have been out of the country, but just this afternoon I went on a walk through Mac Lane Park with Dree Pascoe, and she talked about the park and some of the concerns there.
This afternoon for that. Councillor Fletcher.
Thank you. Since we last met, I attended a regional district water committee meeting, a sports committee meeting in camera, and a committee of the whole. Last week I attended a Mox committee of the whole, and yesterday I too did a walkabout on the Baybrook property with Dree Pascoe, and we were able to share my past knowledge of the property and the neighborhood's concerns. Thank you.
Councillor Kinga.
Yeah, I had a economic development meeting where we discussed the new contract and some of the things with the RD, trying to make sure that we get something that's acceptable to both parties. I also had a meeting with the Ministry of Transportation regarding our gateway sign and just seeing what we need to do to get a permit in for that. And I didn't actually do the tour of the park, but I spoke with, what was her name? Dree. I spoke to her for about 45 minutes on the phone about it. So I think short of going on the walk, I got the same sort of tour as the rest. So, and heard the concerns.
Excellent. Councillor Tom.
Thank you. Yes, since we last met, I chaired the Regional District Water Committee meeting. I attended the Sports Commission meeting. I attended the CBRD Committee of the Whole, as well as the COMOX Committee of the Whole. I also attended an all-day workshop last week for a watershed advisory group, which is a very interesting group of people set up to devise ways to protect the watershed to help the Comox Valley Water Committee with their deferral of the filtration on our 4321. Everybody knows what that all means, but anyway, that's what that watershed advisory group is set up to do. And I did spend a considerable amount of time today on the phone with Dree Pascoe. And that's my report.
Great. Thank you. Since we last met, I attended the 1017 Coast Regional Advisory Committee meeting of the Allied Coast Economic Trust. Applications were approved and sent forward for further consideration. Also attended, I know Councillor Tom Graham was there, Royal Murray Presley, former city councillors, for the anniversary of accounting project reception. Volunteered at the Rotary Beer Festival, and I know Councillor Ken Grant was also acting as the greeter, among others.
I was taking tickets, you were the
I was the Also, on October 4th, we had the pleasure of hosting Alex and Frederick Thibodeau for the Larch campaign, and attended both a public event and also a private meal following that. And well received a great message that was passed on by Alex and, of course, his brother in support of that campaign. On October 8th, I missed the meeting for Committee of the Whole. I was attending the Premier's Public Service Awards. Was a judge, along with others, on a panel for that event. Well attended Victoria, and certainly a pleasure to see the recipients get their awards. And that's my report. We have no other delegations for reports, media questions at this time. And we do have a number of members of the public in here. I'm not sure if there are any questions at this time. Yes.
Thank you, Your Worship. Don Davis from Comox. there's been some concerns raised, addressed to me personally, that the marina enhancement hasn't been publicized broad enough to the public, and it's quite obvious from the report that that's not quite the case.
Right.
So could you give us a brief synopsis of how the process will unfold as it goes forward? Will there be further opportunities for public input or open houses and
Sounds
such
like
like
there will be,
that?
but I'll let our CEO speak to the process.
After approval of council tonight, we'll be submitting the application to Island Coastal Economic Trust for the board meeting on the 28th of November. Should we be successful, or when we are successful with our application, we'll also prepare it for submission to Western Economic Diversification for the other half of the funding. Through the detailed design process, a lot of the comments that we've received, and we've kept track of all the comments, a lot of the issues will be addressed or taken into consideration through the design. Once we have a detailed design, that is when we would bring forward another opportunity for the community to provide additional input.
Okay, anything further? Seeing none. We don't have any in-camera meeting this evening, so the motion to adjourn would be allowed.
Second.
All in favor? Motion's carried, meeting adjourned.